Hey guys, if you've seen my last video on the card above, I discussed about why students keep failing their exam no matter how they study, and I laid emphasis on factors to consider before the exam. I made mention of study plan, I laid emphasis on proper sleep, and I also gave you the importance of past questions. So this is the second part of the first video, and on today's video I'll be talking about the factors to consider during the exam, because there are certain factors that contribute to the failure of an exam during the exam. So now, if you are watching my video very first time, please subscribe to my channel, and on my video I give out informations that will actually help students to improve in their academic journey. So now let's go into what we have on today's video. Now, what are those factors that to be considered during the exam and because that contributes to the failure of students no matter how they study? Now, the first factors to consider during the exam is exam instructions. Now, exam instructions are given by examiners, and they are most often written at the top of the exam paper. So most of the time there are some instructions that are given out by the examiners in which they will ask students to answer maybe all questions, maybe 3 questions. They might give, for example, let's take for example you go for an exam and they ask you to answer 6 questions, for example, and your examiner, out of that 6 questions, your examiner in the instructions wrote that you should answer 3 questions and number 1 compulsory. Now, in that instance, you as a student that are going to an exam and you might have read and you actually know everything you've read, if you do not read that instruction very carefully, you might fall into the trap by answering all the questions, or you might even not answer the compulsory ones, and it might actually contribute to failure in a particular exam no matter how much you study. Now, the next point to consider during the exam is be strategic about the questions you pick. Now, for example, you might be this point is actually talking about an essay exam. So you might be given an essay exam, and you might have that 6 questions, and out of that 6 questions you might actually know everything in that 6 questions, but you have to be very careful on the kind of question you pick, because you have to pick a question that you actually know well and can earn you more mark. You can do with ease and can earn you more mark. That is what I mean by be strategic. Looking at the 6 questions, pick the question that you actually know well and can earn you more mark. Now, if you fall into the trap by picking a question that you know well but will not actually earn you more mark, then that's even overruled the fact that you've read, no matter how much you've read, because you ended up picking a question that might not earn you more mark, and as a result of that, your efforts might not be equal to the results that you get at the end of the day. So another point to consider is manage your time. What I mean by manage your time is, now you might be writing an exam, and the examiner might ask you a particular question. Try as much as possible to go straight to the point. Anytime you are answering a question in your exam, do not gallivant and just explaining irrelevant things. It's what the lecturer wants you, or the teacher wants you to write in the exam. You have to be able to go straight to the point while you are writing and be fast as possible. For example, you might have a 2-hour exam, and out of 6 questions your lecturer asks you to answer 3. Manage your time as much as possible in order to finish that 3 questions within that 2 hours. And one way you can do that is to be fast and go straight to the point anytime you are answering your exam, you are answering your question. So another point to consider is, for multi-choice questions, you might be given a set of options in your multi-choice question, and as much as possible to avoid distractors. Now, in multi-choice questions, most of the time the options actually looks alike most of the time, and be careful on the answer you pick, because even sometimes the questions that are given can have two answers in the option, and what you have to do is to pick the most appropriate out of the four options you are given. So you have to read the question, digest and look at the options very well and pick the most appropriate one. And that is one thing about multi-choice questions. So I hope out of all the points I've given you, you would take into consideration some of those factors that I consider in my first video and also on this video. And I know that if you actually take those factors into consideration, you won't actually read in vain. What you read, you'll be seeing the result of your efforts at the end when your exam result has been released. So thank you for watching my video, and if you like the video, please click on the like button, and also if you've not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. So thank you for watching, and bye for now.